Well, welcome to Liberal 12 Man Show. We are here on a little bit of a talk Thursday because we have just one day in between our Saturday matchup where we will be going off to Brentford. And we want to definitely get a little conversation, get a conversation started about some of these. It's incredible how some of these rumors are starting to percolate and speculate and regulate our conversations. And also, I wanted to include you in the conversation and also bring in some good people in the panel. So we brought Brian, of course, and Brian is here to help me hold it down. How are you doing, Brian, today?
Yeah, very well. Very well. Getting nearly getting. Oh no, it's not hump day. What? That's Wednesday, isn't it? That's what you call
Wednesday,
it.
someday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, nearly at the end of the week anyway. Nearly Friday.
yeah, nearly Friday. That's even better day. That's even better way to look at it, I guess. Um, yep. I see Jimmy. I see Bernie. I see Makama. Big up to all of you in the chat. And also, if you haven't, I see that we have more than just the three people that have said hello, chimed in. So definitely appreciate you guys and ladies out there that are with us today. I want to kind of get into some interesting rumors that have been uh, starting to circulate, and it goes to tell you, or it goes to show. Big up Cedric and big up Red Armchair Supporter. It goes to show you you can't always trust everything you see in especially on the internet. And when it comes to certain regions of the world, it seems like some of the publications tend to stretch the truth, if not just straight up make it up. So, so some interesting stories I came across that are out there. A couple of publications picked them up. Um, I guess we could start off with the biggest one that was funny to see, and that is there has been. We all know that Darwin Nunez is speculated to be on the move from the club. Uh, Most likely, in my opinion, I don't think we'll see him move in the January window. Um, I know that there has been apparently an offer made, but then again, someone I did see that had been reputed or had been shot down as being actually real or not. But Saudi Arabia is apparently, like I said, Saudi Arabia reportedly made an offer of 70 million, but there was another reporter that said that they didn't. They have interest, but they didn't. There's other teams out there apparently in La Liga that might be interested in him, as well as AC Milan, I believe, was a team that was offered out there. Maybe even Inter Milan as one of the teams that was looking to possibly bring him in. But I don't think that that's going to be a move made. So sorry for all the ones out there that want to see him out the door. But I don't think that that's going to be actually made complete. But there was one out there, and I'm not saying that the summer doesn't have difference. If the summer brings different settings, then that is what it is. But one deal that was out there really made me take notice of. You have to kind of really take things with a grain of salt sometimes as to if they're actually true or not. And there was a report out of Spain that we would be possibly selling Darwin Nunez, and the actual recipients would be Manchester United. Now, I saw and heard that and absolutely was like, this is some, you know, hogwash, or this is just absolutely clickbait. They mission accomplished. I clicked, but but um, when I thought about it, I said to myself, you know what? If it may it why it really rang really, really loudly with me was because I saw we had the North London Derby yesterday. Uh, I think it's DR Sports or AFTV or something. One of those channels had Sol Campbell on their show, and Sol Campbell obviously was a former Spur, and he's also and then he obviously left the Hotspur team and went on to become a Gooner or a Gunner. Um, and he still can't understand why people on from Tottenham can't get over it, as he says. He says he wanted to win, and he won with with Manchester United, or excuse me, with Arsenal, and that's just it. I don't know if, as big of a fan as I am of Darwin Nunez, if Darwin Nunez was to become a Red Devil, even I would join the ranks of some of you out there in the contempt for the player. So it was just an interesting story out there. I don't know. It would take obviously a lot to bring him in, but apparently Amram is a very big. Apparently Amram is a very big fan of Darwin Nunez. Obviously, he got to see him perform at different levels in the Portuguese league, and also not only that, he believes that Darwin Nunez is a more ideal fit. This is according to the article. He's a more ideal fit as a striker in his system. So that's why they think that it could be actually something that could happen. Well, I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen. That can't happen, right,
No,
Brian?
obviously it's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
next
Okay.
question. It's not
Next
even.
question.
Yeah.
There's no chance, right? Yeah.
No, those fans would lose their minds. He could come out and say whatever he like, but them buying a striker that's perceived to not lived up to expectation at Liverpool, that would be the final straw for them. They don't. We just don't
Oh,
do
you think
business.
there'd be a backlash against him for buying Darwin for
You think
as
they'd be
being a
late? Do you think Manchester United fans would be putting on a parade for Darwin Nunes? No, man, they don't want to see
if he
like.
if he if he if he if he were to
No,
if he were to
I mean, if they were to find out they were buying him tomorrow, I can tell you right now, 90% of the backlash should be negative. Yeah,
yeah, okay. I
absolutely
just
not.
thought
They
it was
see
a
it as
pretty funny
Liverpool.
stuff.
Even Leicester, Ant always had a problem. Uh, I started doing it just for fun, but a
Mhm.
couple of times over the years, when they were talking about needing a certain player, and I knew we had a player who was probably going to be sold. I was
Mhm.
like, they would probably do like a really good job for Leicester,
Mhm.
different players over the years, and he would just be like, "No, we don't want Liverpool cast-offs." And he was just saying, not Liverpool cast-off. He just, I don't want players. We don't want players that aren't good enough for other Premier League clubs, is what he's saying. So there's
Wow.
that thing of like, well, we don't want to buy a player that's not like we'll go out and find a player that hasn't played here yet and try him
That's
rather than
ins
buy somebody who has failed at another club. So the fans are very tribal like that, and that's Leicester fans.
that's
So
interesting.
you can imagine how Manchester United fans would be about it.
Yeah. Oh, I know, and
You
I
know,
get
they'd
that.
want to
I get
go,
that. Yeah.
they'd want to be coming and stealing like I don't know, like prime Mo Salah and us not wanting them to sell the guy, or prime VVD and us not want to lose him. They'd like that, yeah. But they wouldn't see this as
Yeah.
us them going and taking one of our best players that we don't want to lose. So if we're happy to sell him, they don't want him. It's like your neighbor.
Uh,
If he wants to
you're
sell it,
you're
you don't want
doing yeah. You're doing the
This is Man
whole
United fans, man.
you're almost
Have
doing
you
the
met Man
same
United
what
fans?
was the I'm trying to think what was the player that oh Tuchemeni like Tuchemeni. I remember you said something. So So, if Real Madrid is wanting to sell to Tchouaméni, then there obviously must be there's possibly something wrong with the player. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, it's basically because it's mainly to do with it's us. We just don't do business. We just don't do business. But yeah, they've been watching him. Like I said, if there was a wonder kid that we had our own little Lionel Messi. We
Hmm.
wanted to build our future around him, and
Hmm.
they took him away from us. Yeah, they'd love that, no doubt about it. But no, not so. But what's the guy everybody brings up his name? I think some Irish guy, Irish sounding name or something like the last direct transfer between the two clubs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
way back.
That's
So
way
like
back.
Paddy
Okay.
O'Brien or something like that in
Hmm.
1978 or something like that. It's like,
Hmm.
it goes way back. You've had some indirect ones, of course, but
I think
even
it.
then, not too
Oh no,
many.
I
Even
thought it
then,
was
not
in
too
the.
many.
I thought it was like in the 80s. I wanted to say maybe it's not the 60s or the 60s or the 80s. I thought, but I can double check for you.
Yeah, I'd say kind of mid 80s at the latest, I reckon.
Mhm. I think it was the 80s. Was the last transfer. Um, but I thought it was interesting. Big up, Max. Good to see you. Big up to Philip too, by the way, and Bonkers in the house. Big up, big up. Um, I just thought it was an interesting rumor. I just thought it was an interesting rumor. I don't think it's going to necessarily happen, obviously. But
But
yeah, it
that's
says
where you need
Manchester
to
United.
go.
It says
If you need the inside info on if you need the inside info on Northwest English football, you need to go to Spain. That's where all the people are in the know are. They get the
Mhm.
breaking stories first. You know what I mean? This like they just come up with these great because they can like they can, but they know he's gonna listen. Like you said, you clicked on it, it'll get and it doesn't matter. But no, yeah, I think it's funny. These
This
guys
was the
always
last
seem to
player
know
that
more.
did it. Hmm.
Yeah, Phil Chisholm. Yeah, they seem to know more about what's going on at Liverpool than the Liverpool journalists do.
And it
Some of
was
these Spanish guys,
1964,
they
by the way,
seem to
too.
think
Hmm.
64 all the way back. Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
1964. And it was for a big fee, though. I
Which
mean,
way did he
consider
go? Which way did he go from Liverpool to United or United to Liverpool?
he went from Manchester United to Liverpool
So when's the last time we sold a player to them?
to them. That's a different story.
Must be even further back. Because
Probably
if
even
that's the
further
most
back.
recent
Yeah.
shows it's even longer since we sold a player directly to them.
Yeah, he was sold to us in 1964 for. I would assume that's probably a lot of money. Actually, in 1964, it was 25,000 pounds. So
Yeah, no, that's a
it's nice.
price. That's a
It's a nice
that's a
price.
price. Definitely, yeah. It's
And let's see
probably
if I can find out that for you. But it was just an interesting little scenario. And like I said, it's been reported that Manchester United are pursuing a move for Liverpool striker Darwin Nunez, as per reports in Spain. United's struggles in the final third have proven to be a serious headache for the new coach. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. And there you have it. Click.
they'd have to sell Hoyland. If they sold Hoyland, if they sold Hoyland, and even then it's
Right.
not gonna happen, but they and it's easy. It's easy because like they know Liverpool want to
Yep.
sell Darwin, that's the story. Amarim is Portuguese. Darwin played well in Portugal. United could probably do with a
Right.
new striker.
Right.
There you go. Like you can
Yep.
tie it all together with the Amarim knows him from Portugal kind of thing.
There you go. Yep. Yep. And not only that, I know I might be glitching a little bit because I had the page open, but not only that, I don't even know if it's a person making it up. It might even be like AI. It might, it might be
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tapping what could be controversial, what could get us clicks.
No, no,
you
no.
know,
AI would be too clever. Even an AI wouldn't think that story would pass muster. AI would be like, this doesn't make sense.
right, right, right.
It takes a human to write something that's stupid, I think.
Um,
or at least come up with the prompt.
Right. Little bot maybe or something. Could be. Very well could be. I see players that have played for both teams, but I'm trying to see if I can find out.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't let that
They
distract you.
might
Get on
not
with the
have
show.
actually. So, I mean, you do have obviously Paul Ince that played for both teams. Peter Beardsley.
No, I was just wondering that the last time we sold a guy to them, literally was I was wondering. Bernie will find it out.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie will find out the last time we sold one to them because Chisnell was them selling to us, and
Right.
that's the last direct transfer.
Right. So it's
But
going to
like
be
we're saying, yeah, even with the likes of the Paul Ince ones, there haven't been that many. Even there haven't been that many that have played for both, especially in the modern era.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
Peter Beardsley, Paul Ince, obviously Michael Owen. But before that was Thomas McNulty. Chilton, but Chilton didn't play for Liverpool. He didn't play a game. Ted Savage, that's a great name, by the way.
I see
Tommy
Bernie
Reed,
saying there, look, all the way back in 1912.
1912. Okay. Oh, that
So
was
that's
the
how
last.
long.
That
That's
was
last
how
time
long
we
ago?
sold them a player.
That was if that's the last time we sold him. That was the first time we sold a player too. So, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyways, that was something I saw. It was kind of funny to see. Again,
There was a Diaz to Barca one as well. I saw that today.
saw that. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us a little more about what that one was. Speaking
Again,
on.
very spuriously kind of saying it was a very arrogantly written report, I thought, because it was being phrased that sometimes things get lost in translation. But it was saying that Barcelona kind of trying to act a bit like Real Madrid, maybe saying Barcelona have informed Liverpool that they intend to make a bid for Luis Diaz. And they have. Now, this is the bit that kind of really stuck with me or made me kind of look at it. The report said that Barcelona have told us it would be in our best interests to sell the player rather than lose him on a free.
He's not. He's good with us for till 2027 or something.
Yeah, so it's like even then it's like, but I don't think Barcelona would feel the need to educate us in the fact that selling a player is better than losing
Right
on a
now.
free.
Yeah.
I don't think,
Maybe.
yeah, at any time, but it's like, but then I don't think even Barcelona would be so arrogant as to say, do you know what, lads, we're going to make a bid for him, and you know what, like if you don't accept our bid, then in 2 years' time, he's going to walk for free. Well, yeah, 2 years when he's what going on 29. You're saying, oh, then we're going to take him. He might, God knows what you're going to be doing in 2 years.
Right.
The whole thing didn't. None of that made any sense. Like Barcelona trying to act like bullies, but it's like, yeah, if you don't tell me that thing in 2 years' time, yeah, in 2 years' time, what? Or 2.5 years' time.
2.5 years. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll just probably not sell him to you. But
And
the
even in by
the
then,
li-
even if he does leave on a free, who knows where he'll be in his career. So even if he does leave on a free, most likely we'll have a backup or some type of, player that has
I
emerged.
think what they were saying, the only thing in the report was saying like that it didn't say it outright or say it straight up, but it was suggesting, strongly suggesting that he turned down our contract offer. We've offered him a deal, and he's turned it down.
By the way, Garnacho just missed an absolute sitter, by the way. Absolute sitter. Oh, wow. What a horrible shot. Yeah. I can't believe that's just tough to believe. It's difficult to believe, I should say. It's very difficult to believe. And on
It's
top
not
of that, I get
exactly the
that
most
the player would
threatening, is
like
it?
to go to Barcelona, possibly. There's a lot of players that would like to play in Spain.
Oh, they threw
That
that card into it as well. Yeah, they threw in the whole he wants to go to Barcelona kind of thing.
right,
Like
right.
I'd be the bit in the story that I don't want to know about. It's like this bit that says he's turned down a contract, and if that's
Yeah,
true,
yeah. That's supposedly a lot of why the speculation has come up with, him, is that he has apparently turned down a contract, and there was another player that turned down a contract apparently too. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, he apparently turned down his the contract that they offered him. And it's probably simply because was he on, like, I think he's on 55,000 or something, 55K, something like that.
it it said that he feels we don't feel we're going to be able to match his expectations, which is not saying that he's turned down a contract. It is saying he did turn down a contract, but it's saying that he doesn't feel that any contract we offer him
Is going to be what
is what he's going to
what he'll
match
want.
his expectations. So our max has probably been hinted at.
Right.
Just say our max is 180 and he's looking at 250 minimum
Good luck.
or whatever it might be, if it's 150 or two, whatever it might be. But he's kind of saying, yeah, let's not waste our time sitting around a table every couple of months because it doesn't matter. You're not going to give me what I want,
Right.
which would
Yeah.
make sense. Would make sense. But if he wants to use Liverpool as a stepping stone to go to Barcelona, then he's going to turn down contracts. Then, yeah, we should buy rights. And of course, we should sell him in the summer.
Yeah.
Because what are
Yeah.
we going to do? Wait a year till he's a year older and he's only worth 30 million? No, if he's worth 70 million, 80 million in the summer now,
He's
we
actually the
need.
highest on, if you were to look, like, for instance, on transfer market, for instance, he is actually rated as being our highest valued player.
Yeah, he'd go down. If Trent signed a new contract, he'd go down. If Mo signed a new contract, probably still would only be just below Mo.
Mhm.
But I'm surprised he's more. Yeah, I get. Yeah, it is transfer market, but to me, I would say if we were to sell all of our players tomorrow if they're all I think Gary McAllister, Alexis McAllister would be probably one of the highest priced. I think he would be someone that you get probably. I think you get as much for him as you would for any of our players. Really, I'd have him as one of the most valuable in our squad.
Mm, okay.
I think if they're all on the open market, they all actually got sold. I think we'd probably get like 100 million for. I think you could probably get 100 million for him.
You
If you're
think
talking
you
about
get
100 million
100
for
million for a
Bruno,
McAllister? That's a wow.
no, I think he worth
Not
about 90. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think he's in that bracket. Yeah.
Wow. Because he has a good deal right now. I mean, it's not, he's signed to, I think 2027 or 2028 or something like that. He's got a good
Yeah,
lengthy
he's only
lengthy
just
deal.
joined. He'd be
Yeah.
on a long deal. Yeah, probably give him a 6-year
And
contract.
it's a decent number as to what he signed. He signed it, his price that he's making is a pretty decent number as well. As in, it's not like he would be like, oh, he feels that he's being underpaid. That's my whole point of saying that.
No, and he'll get an increase after
Yeah.
if he's on 6 years after about 3 years, his money will be looked at.
Um, there is something too. So let me go through some updates with the team, some team updates for us. Wow, this game is just a matter of time before Manchester United score.
Yeah, Southampton are done, man. They're
They're
done. They're a
a done
busted
team.
chocolate.
They're a done team. So Diego's absence from Liverpool's team training ahead of the Brentford clash raises questions about his availability for the upcoming game. Despite recently returning to form after an upper body injury, his exclusion alongside that of Lucho and Joe Gomez highlights the ongoing challenges Arne Slot faces in managing player fitness during a busy fixture schedule. Here's a closer look at the situation. So um, Diego wasn't in training on Thursday or today. Um, obviously, he missed training today. Could be a signal of they're saying precautionary management, or it could be a minor setback. Um, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the precautionary management as opposed to the minor setback because we did get to see the player play a decent role. Didn't look like he had any issues or problems on the pitch when he got into the game. Um, with Diego, only recently, obviously, he's been building up his match fitness, maintaining his availability for the remainder of the season. Obviously, will be crucial. But also with Lucho, Lucho was not in training today either. Um, I I don't want anyone to think that this has anything to do with the news that we just reported about his interest in Barcelona. I do not think that's the case. Um, but obviously, he's a key factor in our team and the likes of us being successful this year. So Diaz is going to be. It'll be interesting to see what it is, what is, and that is going on with him as well. So obviously, Joe Gomez isn't still available because of that hamstring injury. That's something that we all knew and all expected to see or have known about. And also returning to training, or returning to not returning training, but he's trained before, but returning to our team or being available for our team is also the player that it's speculated that Darwin Nunez would possibly join. Shoot, oh, not they. Southampton almost scored. I'm sorry, and that is Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is going to be available for this weekend's clash, and he is someone that I spoke on earlier. I don't know. I know before the stream starts, the chats, the things you say in the chat, I don't know if they continue on into the live stream. I think they get restarted. But you'd be surprised. People out there say what they want
No,
about.
they stay there.
Oh, they
If they
okay.
comment, yeah, if you comment in the chat before the stream starts and it goes live,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, they'll stay there. They'll stay in the live chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see, obviously, Makama and I were speaking. I am almost positive. I would have to double check, but there's a crazy stat that we are undefeated when Darwin Nunez starts games. So
Well, we've only lost one game.
we've lost 2 games.
Oh well, no. So well in the league, yeah. So yeah, but
Mhm.
so I'd imagine there's probably
Some other players that fit that
Joe
bill.
Gomez probably undefeated. Anyone who didn't start either of those 2 games is
Mhm.
undefeated and they start
Yeah.
for us. It's not just. I mean, yeah, it
Well, he
sounds
didn't.
nice,
Well,
but we need to pick it apart.
Darwin Nunez didn't start didn't start that game. He didn't
That's
start
that's
the League Cup game that we lost, and he didn't start obviously the.
exactly. That's not, so he didn't start in the 2 games that we lost.
But
I'm
the
just
but
it's a
a
nice
good
that there'll
number
be a
of the
lot of
people
players.
that did start those 2 games take up a good chunk of our
Yeah,
lineup.
they will have, but yeah. There's a lot of people are undefeated. I mean, you
Okay,
can
Brian. All
apply that
right.
to a lot of people.
Brian trying to throw some cold water on it. I got you.
And it's just not as impressive when you actually look at it properly. It's actually not that impressive because
I
we've
don't
only
know.
lost one game.
Actually, I
I
think
mean,
it's saying something too. Let me double check and make sure. I was trying to open it up for the thing. I'd have to go get my other phone here.
yeah,
Oh,
there's lots of players.
Kelleher could be also, I believe. Yeah, Kelleher could be another person as well. We have not lost with Kelleher in goal, for instance.
Yeah, when you only lose one game in the league, a lot of players would have had good records.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. And
I saw
Dan's
that
okay.
last night
Now
actually.
you're stretching it. I mean, like how about to have
No, it's been
certain
no. What
number
I'm
of
saying is, you guys
starts?
stretched it. It's like, okay, yeah, he is undefeated. We started games and we didn't lose those, but we were pretty much undefeated.
Yeah.
So, the team was going undefeated. I don't think it's just Superman up front there. Maybe we should tell United that and get an extra 20 million out of them.
I think I'll even go further. I don't know if it's games he's played in that we've won too. I'll look. I'll look. I'll see what the record is. Um, it was just an interesting statistic, but he'll be available all the same. Um, some of the implications for the Brentford clash: Liverpool may need to rely on our squad depth. Certainly, we'll certainly have to rely on our squad depth. We'll have to with players. I put here with players like Cody, Mo, and Darwin Nunez likely to shoulder the attacking burden. Managing minutes for returning players like Diego and Diaz, if available, will be key to balancing short-term results with long-term fitness. I think it could be a little bit of a window into who gets the start for us against Brentford. Brentford is a team that isn't going to set up in a low block, isn't going to be, is going to play football. So it should be an interesting game. It will be very interesting to see who gets the start for us in those games. There was something that was an interesting link, and I brought this up with Brian before, kind of laughed at it too. And that is, according to Team Talk, we are now possibly interested in a eventual replacement for Virgil van Dijk, and that would be Murillo, a man who had his second audition in front of us. Team Talks are claiming that Liverpool have Loic Bade, Inacio, and Murillo on their short list of center back targets, which could be looked at to replace Van Dijk. Liverpool have already seen, obviously, Murillo and his capability of being a asset. Obviously, in the 1-1, he actually broke a record or made a record with clearances the game before our game, and then he broke that record, his own record, by making 17 clearances, which is the most in a Premier League match since 2022. Pretty good accomplishment. Obviously, someone that's dialed in and has certainly enhanced himself as a viable player in the Premier League.
They
Go ahead.
they've called it, but they've got it a little bit wrong. It's like I think Murillo is a great player. I also like one of like the thing that kind of why he stood out, not just like you don't watch a lot of Forest and pick apart their defending. There was just he was only here very quickly, and he got the ball on the edge of his box, and he just went on a run, and he beat about six players, not over exaggerating. He beat about six players, like properly dribbled past all of them, got to the edge of the box, and took a decent enough shot.
Right.
Which got saved. And I was like, Jesus, who the hell is this guy? And I think this is what last season when he came in, right? So geez, this guy's a bit special. Now, that was obviously not what you expect from your center halves, but I'm just saying it kind of like, oh, this guy. But he's not a ball. He's not a ball player. Having said that, he's poor on the ball in Premier League standards, in terms of what Virgil van Dijk can do. In terms of
Right.
composure, passing, all that, he's really poor. Like Virgil's 93%. I think this guy's like 72
Yeah.
and all that.
Agreed.
So he's an Ibu type.
Right.
Not Ibu was poor, but he's much more of a defender, like kind of blocks shots, clearances, like you're saying, the clearances, really good on his feet, one-on-ones with people. But he's not he could play as a centre half for Liverpool, perhaps, but he's not a Virgil van Dijk replacement. Like if you wanted to replace Van Dijk, he has this skill set of the guy who plays on the other side of a Van Dijk. If you want one and one, if you want a ball player and a defender, he's not your ball player guy. His passing isn't very good. he's not he's not a great long passer at the moment, you know. Um, but his numbers that way for defenders, he's quite average. But then when it comes to the defensive stuff, now he's playing in a Nuno system. All of that stuff be taken into account. You know, the numbers need numbers are just literally just numbers without context. There's just you can build a lie into it, you know. So you got to give the context. He's playing for a smaller team in a certain type of system under a certain type of manager, you know. But even then, when he does attempt things, he's low down. So his passing stats and all of that. So I could see him having a place in a top team, but not as that elegant center half. You know, that I think people might be misreading it. That so that's why I'm looking at Team Talk. Kind of you kind of dropped the ball on that one. If you said we're looking at someone to replace Gomez, Ebo even. Oh, Ebo might be leaving in there. Yeah, Murillo, he might make sense. You know, the Milenkovic guy, he would make more sense, but he's 27 now. You know, the guy that was flagged up for me, and a very compelling case was made for Hyson at Bournemouth. This kid, special. Look at his numbers. If that's what you're into, if you're a numbers guy, look at this guy Hyson on FBref. Compare him to Virgil van Dijk. This kid, 6'5", elegant, good on the ball, very young, 19, 20. Brought in by
Mhm.
Richard Hughes to Bournemouth. Um, really good at all the things you would want. If you said, "Oh well, we're looking for what are you looking for? What do you need?" You know, scouting department on the phone. What do you need? Get us a Virgil replacement for the next. That'll be ready in 2 years. This guy is going to be pinging the numbers. This guy is going to be popping up number one, number two, number one, number two in everything right now. So that's the guy. Expect to see his name pop up a bit more. Hyson at Bournemouth.
Okay. Okay. Um, let's see what else. I was looking up what I was thinking of. Looking at the fact, I think there's only been, I think out of the 7 games Darwin Nunez has started, we've won 6 of the games. That's what it was, or something along those lines.
You were doing that the whole time. Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was something. Originally, I thought it was, but we have one game that he started that we ended up drawing. We should have won the game, but we ended up drawing the game.
Okay.
That was Newcastle, the 3-3
Virgil
draw.
went undefeated at Anfield for 2 years, didn't he?
He had until the
Yeah.
to the Forest game.
Yeah, Virgil was undefeated at Anfield for 2 years.
Or not. I don't know if it was undefeated. I think he had one loss before that too. He had one loss before that.
Yeah, but when he got the one loss,
That wasn't
he
Forest was
like
his second loss at Anfield, I believe.
yeah,
That was.
but even then he'd gone like 2 seasons, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That says a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely says a lot. Says that we are definitely a good team. So I agree with you on everything you said though about Murillo is a good player, definitely a defensive juggernaut, but he does not even come close to having the passing range that Virgil van Dijk provides us. And if anything, I don't even think he has Ibu's passing range, to be honest with you.
And he doesn't pretend to either. He's not. He doesn't try to be one of those players. That's the thing. It's like that's why I don't know Team Talk are picking him up. It's like, what are you watching?
Yeah.
This guy doesn't try and be. It's not like he tries loads of shit and it's just really, really bad at it. He doesn't try long, but he just does what he's good at.
Mm-hmm.
Proper little, and he's small. You know,
Yeah.
gets in about people, tackles them, gets it, gives it really quick. Like he's just because he's small, he's very quick on his feet, which
I don't.
helps him get close to these people. You know, he's very good at quick turning and that, and he'll get a lot of blocks in, little get his legs out. But does he make the step up to a bigger side, yeah, if you're not like that good on the ball, who knows? I think it's. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go overboard on him.
50 million was the original valuation for him, 50 million pounds. And now that valuation has gone up to 70 million pounds, being
One good game against Liverpool. That's what it does for your profile. One good
yeah,
game against Liverpool. You get man of the match.
yeah.
Everyone's talking about you. Next thing you know, 70 million.
Um,
I think he's 22. Right after he's either 22 or 23. He's still young.
Still young. So he's like 20. I want to say he's 23, to be honest with you.
Yeah, at most he's 23. At most. So still a very young player. But I think his style is his style. I don't think he's gonna like it's the kind of guy isn't gonna turn into Virgil van. If you look at this guy Hyson at Bournemouth, he's only 19. He already looks it's like obvious what kind of like you don't it's not like he's gonna lose the elegance in his play, the poise in his play. It's just like, oh, he's just one of those types,
Yeah, he's
you
22.
know.
You're right. 22. 22, turned 22 in July. So just turned 22 pretty much. Or no, halfway through, I guess you could say. It's kind of crazy. We're already in January. Yeah, there's no chance it's going to be 50 million anymore, especially Forest is not going to allow for him to just go cheap now that he's
Well,
established.
KJ saying he wouldn't buy him for any more than 50. He's saying there's no chance for any more than 50. No
Oh, that's what
chance
he's
to
saying.
pay any more than yeah.
I wouldn't spend any more than 50 either.
No, I'd leave him where he is, to be honest with you. I'd leave that
By the
one.
way,
I'd leave it where it is.
by the
Someone
way,
else wants to go and take the risk, let him have it.
1-0.
Lucas
Southampton.
Dibbling? Lucas
Southampton.
Dibbling? Is
Yeah.
it Lucas Dibbling?
Oh, I'll find out who it is. Let me see who it was. It was. It was. Let's see. Who is it that scored this goal? Still waiting to see who it was. It was a header.
Oh, it wasn't Dibbling.
No. Oh, might be no goal. Might be no goal. Dibbling got the piece of it. Dibbling got a
Dibbling.
piece of it.
Tyler Dibbling. Okay,
Yeah.
what was I calling him? Lucas Dibbling. Yeah, Tyler Dibbling.
Tyler Dibbling got a piece of it. It then
Oh,
deflected off of a looks like Euro or maybe even some deflect off someone some Manchester United defender and in for the goal.
that was
It
pretty
looks
close.
like
So
they're giving it to
if it was on target, they're giving it
it's
to him.
gonna be an own goal. It's gonna be an own
Oh,
goal. It's off of Ugarte.
must have been going off target then.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, it's
I
just
don't
when you
think it
said
was
they're
on
one
target.
nil up.
It looked like it was just going. He headed it
Yeah,
on, and it looked like it was going further across. But then when it was going across, it hit the like shoulder or something of the Manchester United player and went right into the goal.
yeah.
So,
If it's on target, they give it to you, even if it's like a horrific deflection. If the shot was on target, you get it.
mhm.
But only if it's on target, like it's off target a tiny bit and only gets a flick, you don't get it.
Yeah,
But no, when you said they were 1 nil up, I just thought, well, Dibbling, he's the best player they have. So
yeah. He
I'll
is
go
one
and
of the
guess
best
with
players
him.
they have. He was a part of. He had some involvement in one way or another, but this game will still end up probably like 3-1, 2-1, or something like that. That was just a very fortunate deflection, to say the least.
Well, what are they? They must be nearly half time.
Almost at halftime. Almost at halftime.
Yeah. So
And your boy Tyler just got a yellow card.
go Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah,
And
Southampton 1 0, Jimmy. Yeah, Bednarek has Rasmus on lockdown, according to KJ and Soleimani cooking Euro. So that sounds good. That sounds pretty good.
yeah,
Soleimani gets some credit. Also, I'm only saying this because I did mix them up. But Bournemouth, the guy Semenyo at Bournemouth, he's been getting a lot of credit as well for his performances this year.
Okay. Um. Yep. One
Outshine
nothing so
Cliver.
far. Halftime. It is not going to sounds good. It's 1-0 Brighton over Ipswich, by the way, too, right now. But I don't see this one holding out because Manchester United are getting plenty of opportunities. That was off a corner kick, and it was just off a deflection. Manchester United will probably have another opportunity in this. So far, they've gotten actually 9 shots to Southampton's 8. It's not that bad. Had more shots than I thought. I guess I have to keep a bigger, a closer eye on it. Anyhow, there is let's see, there's another story I wanted to talk about. So yesterday we were talking about some people were talking about, oh, we need to get things done and this and that, and how how there was certainly a Manchester City was on the pursuits of getting their Marmouche deal done, but apparently the offer has been rejected. Their bid has been rejected by Frankfurt, and Marmouche is going to be actively playing in their next match. It does make it does further underline or emphasize what I've been speaking on about how like it's going to take a lot for teams that are in the running to get Champions League football in their upcoming year to give away one of their best players to try to use that as an opportunity to do a payday and get one of their best players when the payday is a bigger payday if they hold on to the player, get into Champions League, and then if they want to in the summer, then make the deal happen. To give away your best player in the middle in that January window, and possibly take away one of the. I mean, he's second. I want to say he's second in scoring right now in the Bundesliga, right? Do you know? I
Well,
know.
me. Oh yeah, he was high up there. Yeah, he was on like two, he's like 1 or 2 behind, but there's been a couple of rounds since the last time. But I know he was just kind of level with Kane, and then there was the other dude that was scoring a lot, but he was right in the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's up there. I know he's up there. So,
but he was bagging with him. The thing was, the other guys I think were kind of they had goals or whatever, but he was banging the assists as well. I think he was doing kind of Mo like type stuff, not quite double figures in both, but he was doing a lot of assists as well, I think.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just I don't. They were fourth, right? They were third or fourth, so they're having a really good season as well. So do they have a drop off? Is it?
I want to say
Will,
they're
will
even higher than that. I want to say they're in like third place. I thought. Let me check for you.
last time I saw they were third or fourth, yeah, but will it be eventually? Will you get Dortmund and Bayern
Yeah,
and
they're third place. I mean, they
Leverkusen?
sit considerably behind Leverkusen and Bayern, who are at 42 points. Leverkusen's at 38 points. Frankfurt's at 33 points currently, and Leipzig is at 30 points. And then
Yeah,
Stuttgart, 29 points. And then Mainz is at 28 points. So the pack starts to bunch up right when you get to Leipzig. But they are currently holding a 3-point advantage, a game advantage over fourth place. That's a big thing, though. I mean, they could
they won't want to
foreseeably make the
don't mess
champ.
up their season. Don't
Yeah,
mess up their season by taking their best player just because you want to finish fourth. Let him do something special with Frankfurt.
yeah, yeah,
Like he's just gonna do what? Like go and go to City and hey, look what we could send City here and they go and do something crazy and next thing you know, they're second in March and we're biting our
yeah.
nails, but it looks like they're having a kind of transition season. So
He's a second leading scorer in Bundesliga right now.
let him
Harry
do his
Kane has
thing over
16
there.
goals. Harry Kane has 16 goals, and Marmoush has 15 goals currently.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
It's a
let
lot
him,
of
if you want to do your deal, but let him stay there for the summer.
exactly.
Let Frankfurt at least don't go in and bully them. Takes it, yeah, someone that's doing those kind of numbers in the like this is why the German clubs they hate the English clubs because it's like English clubs they just mismanage, they don't do what they do, and then they just go and they throw money at it. And they just throw money at other clubs and they take them in the middle of their seasons. Like a kid like that doing something special at a club like Frankfurt, not a big club by any means, even historically, never like a huge club, allowing
Right,
them to do something,
right.
you know, this big club like Man City, they're like, look at all the people he had, like Cole Palmer, you sold him. Now you want to come and take one of our players. And all these clubs around the world, you own City franchises. You got Savinho from one of your franchise clubs.
Hmm.
You still need to come and take one of our best players in the middle of the season.
Yep. Especially for a team like Frankfurt too. I mean, they're not necessarily, perennial powerhouse that, has done well with their placements.
Like if they qualify for Europe with him, which they probably will, if he was to stay there the way it's going, looking at the
Hmm.
way it's going, if it was to keep going that way,
Hmm.
then if they sold him,
Then
um,
they'll make even more
they
money.
they'd have money and maybe maybe attract people to a club that's in Europe.
Yep.
Not saying they drop out of Europe just because they sold him, and they have been in Europe recently. They were beaten in the final. They were beaten by West Ham, I think, wasn't it? Or did
Oh,
they
in the
beat them?
Conference League. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat
Hmm.
Frankfurt, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, allow them build what they're building. Like, but if the kid pushes for a move, he should just hang tight. Like Jared said to Suarez, said, look, you can move here and now if you want, but you stay one more season, you do what you look like you're going to do. It won't just be this club that wants you. You'll have that club and that club and that club.
Yep. That's why it's like one of those cases where I don't see that deal getting. I really don't see that deal being something that makes it really gets through. West Ham beat Fiorentina actually
Well,
this week.
maybe they played them in a semi-final or something, but I seem to remember West Ham playing Frankfurt recently.
Hmm.
Frankfurt beat Rangers the year before to win. Ah, yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
So Frankfurt won it the year before. There you go. Okay.
Mm. So if they won it the year before, then they must have been in Europa then last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's some real progression. I don't know if Marmoush I don't know if Marmoush was like a integral part of the team last year and the year before that. Oh, Europa League final. Okay, yeah. Anyone worried if Arsenal
No.
signed? No.
I'd be worried if they signed Isaac in January. I would be
I
worried
don't
if
think
they
they're going to
signed
sign
Sesko.
Isak. You know how
Oh, no,
much
I
it's
ain't
going to.
sign him in January. What do you say?
Yeah,
He's saying if signed Sesko in January.
they're not. I
No,
know that Isak
it'd
has
be Isaac
turned
in January.
down you know, signing a new deal, an extension with them, but he already has a decent contract with
Oh,
them
they know
already.
what the story is there. They know everyone knows what the story is there.
You're gonna have to
He's
spend
gonna
like
do, but
120
someone will
million,
spend it.
110 million, or something like that,
Yeah, he
or
keeps doing
whatever it
what he
was,
does.
whatever they spent for Rice. Add like probably like 5-10 million to that.
Yeah, he's gonna stay there for the rest of the season, do what he does, and in the summer, but then he'll leave. They'll get the big money, and that'll allow them to go. And then if they amortize that, you see,
Hmm.
they'll actually be able to do a whole lot with that.
Yeah, yeah,
That'll give them big wriggle room, so they'll take that 120.
yeah.
But
Have you?
I don't think nobody's buying him in January. That is no chance. But Sesko, maybe, yeah, he's someone I like. He's a big, strong center forward. There was rumors of them wanting Evan Ferguson on loan from Brighton, which is he's someone trying to rebuild his career after an
Oh,
injury
yeah,
and
yeah,
some
yeah.
bad
Yeah.
spell, but he is that kind of
Arsenal's
very
been linked
similar.
to a bunch of players, Brian, too. I've seen Arsenal linked
Yeah.
to Mbomo, right?
Well, it's because Jesus is out for the
Mbeumo?
season. It's
Mbeumo.
because Jesus is out for the season.
That hurts. And the
So
fact
that's
of,
why, yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just that's why all the Arsenal are going to get a striker in January story started appearing. As soon as he was out for the season, it's just like, yeah.
They already, and the thing about it is they already got their striker, or the striker that their coach wanted, they got. Havertz was what he wanted. He came out and said he wanted Havertz to be his striker or his 9.
Yeah. He's not a 9, never has been. Weird. But
He believes that he could play his false 9 to perfection, and that's what he wanted. You know, obviously Jesus has played false 9 before too. But they weren't getting the production out of him. Plus, they've also he's been riddled with some injuries that have taken him off his stride. It's a shame because he now has an ACL injury to his other leg, his other knee, that's just harsh. It's harsh to hear.
happens a lot because when you're recovering, you put so much stress on
Mm-hmm,
the opposite knee. It becomes
mm-hmm,
you basically become one-legged for quite some time. So everything goes on the opposite leg. So yeah, Chris Angel will tell you it's really obvious or not. It's really common for that to happen because you put so much stress on the other limb, especially if it's the leg.
mm-hmm.
Which yeah, you see it happen so many times. So many times the guy's out and then he does it while he's at another ACL. Yeah, it's the other knee. Like is it worse if it's the same one gone again? Probably. You know, back in the day, one ACL would pretty much finish you up for life.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
having to
so many
rebuild
ways
your
to
knee
do it.
twice.
Yeah. So many sports medicine has taken leaps and bounds since the 80s and the likes.
Never put you back perfect though. Once something's ripped and you've been under the knife and you've been cut open, and even the best surgeons put you back, it ain't never gonna be perfect the way you were born. You know, you've been opened up once. Even the surgeons will tell you that. Say, look,
That's interesting. I have to.
it's never once you cut open a muscle,
Mm-hmm,
you stitch it back together. Yeah, but it's never. They're never pristine, perfect because they've been broken. It's like a Ming vase that's been broken and perfectly restored. You
mm-hmm.
can't see the cracks, but it's been broken. So it's like the surgeons will tell you that. It's like if you never injure it, it'll never be stronger than that. It's like 98%, 90, you know, the best surgeons, but yeah, they can never get you 100% of what you were. But for most athletes, 98% is good enough.
Okay. Uh, there was something that I was going to say about about the Arsenal stuff is yeah, they've got a lot of links, a lot of different links. I don't think that the Isak is going to be something that we see get done in January. Certainly not with the way that he's playing right now.
No, he's
Certainly not
unsellable in
with
January.
Right. Certainly not with Newcastle's aim of getting top 4. Obviously, Newcastle isn't necessarily looking to win the league, but they are looking to certainly get into top 4. And right now, that is a strong chance that could actually happen. They currently sit in 4th place. So, and they look like they've actually found their form. Now, whether they can hold on to that, that's different. I mean, right now, currently, you look at the top 4, it's Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest, Newcastle, and then followed by Chelsea in 5th, and then City in 6th, and then Villa, I want to say, in 7th. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. 7th, I think, is Villa. So all of those 7 teams that I just mentioned are all A, good teams, and B, are all teams that probably will push for some type of placement into Europe. And it could be, with the success of what we do in Champions League this year, there could be a placement where 5 teams actually get into Europe, again, at least into Champions League Europe. So that's a there's a strong opportunity that you could possibly see, Forest and Newcastle. Forest being in the top 4 has put a different twist on a lot of the things. But if we do have if it ends up being the 5 teams that are going to 5 teams get into if 5 teams do get into Champions League next year for England, then obviously that actually opens up a whole new can of worms for those that are now, on the cusp of looking like they were going to get Europa, but now they're going to end up in Champions League. So it'd be a big difference. And there's a lot of teams that are really, really closely bunched up. I mean, let me just pull up the standings actually, so I can make sure I get the points right, because I don't know the points off the top of my head. Chelsea 37 points, Newcastle 38 points, Forest 41 points, tied with obviously Arsenal. But even 6th and 7th, 35 points. I mean, that's like basically a win could make you go from 7th to 4th place, possibly. Well, maybe not 4th place, 5th place with the goal differential at least. There was a story that I did want to include in the conversation too. So I know that the Zubimendi transfer saga is going on, since we're talking about Arsenal. And it is reported that they're near the acquisition of Zubimendi for the summer. I don't believe that Zubimendi, again, is going to make I don't think Zubimendi is going to be making an appearance to their squad. And if it is a 60 million euro release clause, it's still something that, unlike other deals where you go out into the market and but you could set up a payment plan, basically, they'll have to pay 60 million immediately. I saw on a couple of different Lee Gunner, or Gunner Lee, is it Lee Gunner? I think it's Lee Gunner, right?
I never know.
Either Gunner Lee or Lee Gunner, one of the two. I forget which one.
I think there's a Lee Gunner.
Okay.
There might be a league owner, and yeah, God, honestly, yeah, I don't know. I get confused. Every time I'm not sure when people talk about that guy. I know there's 2 of them with similar names.
Right.
And I'm never sure which people are talking about. Because there's the guy that used to be a Liverpool fan and then became an Arsenal fan, or there's a guy that was an Arsenal fan and then became a Liverpool fan.
Yeah. That's right.
I think that's Gunnar
That's
Lee.
right. Yeah,
That's the guy they always have on Beige and Reds.
That's Gunnar Lee.
Yeah, that's the guy they did the roast of on Beige and Reds.
Right. And then there's Lee Gunner.
That he totally turned around and ended up roasting them on.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I don't even know. I don't think that they really grasp the idea of what it is to be in a roast. It wasn't a roast.
I don't think they grasped the idea of a mute button either. That guy just did not stop talking for 45 minutes.
It was just like a barbecue, if you want to call it. It wasn't a roast, but But all right. Yeah, Real Sociedad.
It was all you can eat of the Beige and Reds.
Yeah.
Going to lead that day. The tables were flipped.
I'm
gonna get killed for that if they hear me saying it. I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It is the truth. That was a wild one. But yes, Real Sociedad sits in 7th place right now. Obviously, Arteta has some long-term interest in Zubimendi, and he's been obviously pursuing them for quite some time, apparently. And he now has his potential target in Zubimendi being cleared, but there has been reports that Liverpool aren't they're not out of possibly hijacking this deal, apparently, since we did do a lot of legwork, and it wasn't until he decided to stay with Real Sociedad that the deal fell apart. Otherwise, He'd already agreed to terms. He'd already said that he was interested in coming to Liverpool reportedly, but he ended up changing his mind or being persuaded to stay. I know. Why can't we just leave him alone? KJ's asking. But Zubimendi's a good player. He's definitely a good player. Obviously, he's got a high profile on him, considering that he became Rodri's backup for Spain and actually was a very important part of Spain's pursuit of Euro glory, actually. But obviously, it's going to be interesting what Zubimendi's decision is that will make a real difference for a lot of people.
Look, I know it's not a huge thing either, right? But so we were talking about, the thing earlier on with Amarim and Darwin.
Mhm.
Arteta didn't play that much with Sociedad. He only played a year, but he's literally from San Sebastian, which is where Sociedad is.
Mhm.
So that's making Arteta's hometown. That's his home club. So he's probably got all the connections there.
Mhm.
And they already got the Mikel Marino deal done from there last summer. So that's another one that's very easy to say Arteta, Sociedad, Zubimendi. So
Mhm.
it would be if he would have not say an advantage or whatever, but if it's his hometown club, basically. It's Arteta's hometown club.
Right.
Whether that means anything to Zubimendi or not, I don't know.
I don't know if that makes the difference. If that moves the
But
needle
I
at
mean,
all.
just Arteta wouldn't have any, like we were talking about last night. Arteta would know exactly who to pick the phone up to and call. That's Sociedad. If he wants to get a deal done.
Yeah.
He'd have all the ends there. So I'm sure he knows exactly what's going on with Zubimendi.
Yeah. Probably so.
I was surprised though to see them bring it up because I was just thinking, well, why did they just not make that happen last summer? If that was something they were thinking about doing, get
because
Marino in.
because of the
Zubimendi
Declan
said
Rice.
no.
I think it's because of the Rice deal.
They could have brought him instead of bring. They spent like 30 on Marino. I think maybe because Zubimendi turned them
That
down was Marino like a short term
yeah,
thing, saying get you in. I know for 30 minutes short term, but
yeah. That's an interesting portion of what it is. Yeah, you're right about that. But I have something I wanted to put out there. I see we have a good number of people actually in the chat, some knowledgeable people as well in the chat. And Brian, someone that I do respect and appreciate his
back in a second.
expertise. Sure. Okay, so we'll have to wait on him giving his analysis of what I'm about to say. But what I was going to ask is if you would want to hear what I have to say as possibly something that we could pursue, whether it's in the January, could be an actual option in this January window. Now, from what I've been hearing from everyone out there, a player that has become an essential player for us is obviously Grav. Gravy has definitely become an essential portion of our lineup. So it means that we are also going to possibly need a potential backup or someone that can potentially play as a backup. Potentially someone as a backup for Gravenberg. What is someone that we could sign? And I know that name is out there. That name has certainly been out there. Robert's offering out Carlos Baleba. Hope I'm pronouncing it correct. And he's a player that has a market value of about 28 million, let's call it 30 million pounds. I'm certain that they would look to probably be only interested in seeing him be a name on there if you were starting at that number at like 65 million, probably, I think. I know Max is saying that would be at least 80 million. I don't know if I don't know. It depends on how the payment structures. If we said, I think if we went up to them and said, hey, we'll give you 65 and we'll give you 30 up front, and then we'll structure the payments of the remaining 35. Maybe you could do something. KJ saying Norgard at Brentford. Norgard is someone that's definitely a good player as well. Definitely a good player. Let me pull him up for you here. Oops, misspelled his name. He's a good player, but this is a player that Christian Norgard, definitely a good player. He's about 12 million player valuation right now, so probably about plays for Brentford. We'll get a good eye on him tomorrow. I remember seeing him play for, yeah. We'll get a good eye on him too. How old is Norgard? Norgard is, oh, no way. Yeah, Norgard's 30 years old. He's 30 years old. Yeah, he's way too old for Edwards and Hughes's age bracket that they like to go for, or at least especially Edwards likes to see his players come in at. So this was something that I was thinking, and this is something that I've been thinking about recently, and I'm going to pitch this out there. I have a whole assessment of the player, what could be some of his key attributes, and the likes, and how he could actually provide depth to our rotation at least. And the player that I was thinking of putting out there is a player that we've already had interest in before. He is a player that we were going to move for him, but we didn't. We ended up, for some reason, maybe it was because they got maybe they knew that they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know what was going to be the future coach, and maybe that's the reason why they didn't go forward with it, thinking that before we got the coach in, let's get a player that's going to suit the player evaluation for that coach better. All right, people. Drum roll for this guy is, and you can take a guess if you guys think you guys know who I'm going to say. See if any of you know. But I think the perfect addition could be Andre, who plays for the Wolves. Now, I know that it's going to be wild and weird. And I know it's a player that we've already passed on, or not passed on, but we passed on possibly bringing him in and the likes. Before, a lot of people were maybe hesitant because he wasn't Premier League proven. People were speaking on him because of certain things about him and the likes of, he's played a lot of football in Brazil. It'd be maybe too close to the season to possibly bring him in. Apologies to Wolves fans. Okay. But Wolves are a team that's currently sit in relegation. They're a team that has picked up a little bit of form, then fallen off with their form somewhat again. But this is I believe, compelling case for us to possibly go for Andre as a transfer target. I'll just give you some of the key points. I know that there are, and I know João Gomez is a player that I know could be a possible player that you would rather consider. I think João Gomez might be a little bit higher of a price tag than Andre, but I believe that why he's a profile fit is because his strength in duels. He has a good ability to connect on long balls. He has defensive contributions that perfectly complement Gravenberg, who is more technically inclined. I think Andre's ability to control passing lanes and handle physical games makes him a versatile asset for us as well. And despite Wolves' struggles, Andre has thrived with the Wolves this year, showcasing his ability to adapt quickly to the Premier League. He's become he could be a very valuable addition basically to Liverpool because of those reasons. He's been tested and proven and tested. So I think he's affordable. He's accessible, especially if Wolves face relegation. Andre's price could significantly drop below. His initial transfer fee was about 18.2 million, obviously, but for 25 million or something like that, 25 million, we could possibly acquire the player, I think. Especially if we don't go for this Zubamendi thing. I think Andre could fill a potential gap as a defensive midfielder and could also provide some real link play that we could utilize and be able to provide Maka, if not Gravenberg, some type of relief at the position that they play for us right now. I know that you might say, oh, well, Wolves might be reluctant to give him up. I understand that. But I understand that this unlikely to part ways with Andre mid-season unless they face some type of financial or survival pressures. His contract does go to 2029, so that's obviously something that will boost that number that we would have to pay to get him into our camp. But I think he would be actually a good addition and someone that fits a lot of the spots and places that we could, or spots that we need to be reassured. Because I know I've seen some people. I saw Nick does the football club, and he was talking about we need to reinforce our team, to reinforce. People keep saying reinforce. This is something that I said years ago too. Utilize the word reinforce, but reinforce means that it's not like you're not replacing something. You're adding a player. So that would mean like you're adding a player to the lineup. But most likely we'd have to give up possibly a player from our lineup to fit a player into that rotation that we're looking to do. So I just think that if we want to continue to build on this midfield, which I think is a solid midfield with Dom, with obviously Grav, with Maka. Endo is a player that most likely will be maybe on the outs come summertime, not January, but summertime. He could be a player that leaves in the summer, but is an adequate player if you want to have that defensive destroyer. I just think that Andre could be someone that could be a combination of defensive solidity, passing range, has good work ethic, and I think that's why he could be an ideal candidate as a backup, if not partner with Gravenberg. And I think that his low wages. I think he's on something like 30-some thousand, 35,000 currently. I think is a great possible player that you could bring in and not have to worry about having to break the bank to get. So I honestly think though, if we tested the waters and said to them, hey, let's give you 25, if not 30 million for the player, I think we could secure that signature from Wolves, in my opinion. But I don't know, Brian. Do you have do you think that is that a player that you could be tempted or possibly interested in if we were to go for him?
Well, yeah, it's a name. I suppose everybody remembers the Copa Libertadores finals watch-alongs.
Yeah,
that they popped up overnight. It was everyone was doing them. Everyone was on Andre watch. That was in this time of year because they played that I think in January maybe. I'm not sure, but everybody was in the watch-alongs for that. I remember watching it in front of the fire, so it was definitely in the winter, and it was done deal, and looked great, tiny little player. Yeah, probably attributes similar to someone like Endo in terms of tackling, but then maybe that little bit more progressive, maybe a little
he's
bit
a
more of a
better
grammar.
passer. He's a better
Yeah,
passer.
he's got that Gravenberch turn as well. You know that turn grab does. I've seen him do
Mhm,
that as well. He's got that in his game, so he's got that kind of style to him. So, uh, yeah, it's a name. I suppose he got forgot. Everybody thought he's going to go to Fulham then.
mhm,
So, yeah, if it was a deal that was revisited, I mean, if it worked, like we were saying with Zubimendi, if he was, yeah, there's nothing really about Andre. Andre hasn't come in and made a bad show of himself at all. But yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I think he fit the profile. If what you want is Grav, Andre would be someone who probably wouldn't be coming in and kicking up a fuss about not starting every single week. Has been, but knowing that when you do start for a club like Liverpool, you're not going to start every game, right? But you're in the first team squad. So when you do start games, and you will start games, not
mhm,
saying you're not, but you will get games. And when you do get them, they're going to be Champions League games. They're going to be games at Anfield for Liverpool. They're going to be cup games that we're winning. It's not like, oh, when you do get your scraps, they're going to be, vegetable peelings. You're still going to get some fine cuts. It's still going to be good stuff that you're having. So for someone like him, it's a giant leap up from Fluminense, wasn't it, to the Premier League to begin with.
yeah,
It
yeah,
showed that wasn't all hype. It wasn't all hype about Liverpool wanting him. There was a lot of people actually genuinely looking at him in England, and Wolves are a good club like that. They'll see a player. I disagree with them not wanting so. They'll see a player who get one good season out of him
mhm,
and take the flip. Do you know what I mean?
mhm,
Just take that
mhm,
flip on him. Take the first 20 million. Don't try and we're going to keep him for 2 years. He's going to be amazing, whatever. No, they'll take that, and they'll have some other kid lined up for 5 million somewhere. So I think you'd easily get him, but you'd just have to give him about 20 million more than they paid, which is they only paid about 25, something like that. It wasn't huge
mhm,
money.
mhm.
So I could definitely see him being available. But yeah, it is interesting because he was the guy that was so as we go, as fans, it was such a frenzy around him because you were so desperate for something to happen, as it happens.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, no, it's happening, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And he's pretty much disappeared off the radar, near mention of him since. So he
Right,
hasn't stopped being the player that all these people are interested in doing videos about and looking at. He's still that guy, and now he's got Premier League experience.
right, right. Now, I did research too, just make sure that it is a deal that you could even possibly make because there are a certain number of teams you can play in like a certain amount of time and the likes, and um, but it would be still something that could happen. It could be something also because um, it could be something also because they are in relegation currently, and there's no guarantee that they're going to stay up in the Premier League. Um, and they could
Oh, if
make
they
they
go
could
down, then you can expect everybody to go.
right, right, right. So that's why, despite the fact that he has just recently joined the team and that he does have a lengthy contract, it's all bets are off when it
They're
comes
a selling
to
club,
yeah,
Max. They're a selling club. Wolves are a selling club.
yeah. So it was just something I thought could be out there as a pitched name out there that could be interesting because I know that again I brought up Nick's comment about reinforcing because I think that sometimes when I hear people say what they say, I think they don't recognize that there's so many different aspects of what it takes to make a transfer work, and a lot of those obviously include the player wanting to make the move. Honestly, um, it means that both clubs obviously come agree on the price. It means that the club can establish a price for or not price, excuse me, a wage for the actual player. Then also it's the sheer fact of does the player actually even fit the team, or does he fit the profile player that's going to be good for the locker room, and all these different little aspects of it. And you also have to be prepared to have a player that wants to either be a role player or a squad player, or is he going to be a star player? Like, there's so many different aspects of the evaluations that have to be put forward before you actually make these deals. That's why a lot of these players, their names get thrown out there, but I don't think people really sometimes weigh the fact that just because you love the team doesn't mean that that player possibly believes that it's a good move for his career. And that's a big, big part of what makes the decisions work and happen. So, yes, what attitude is important, especially with this team. I like the fact that a lot of the characters that have joined the club have been good character people, or at least people that fit in with the other players on the team, and it gives a good ebb and flow with the club or with the players on the team. That's at least my
I
opinion.
think that's the I think there's a couple of people where you're like, oh, why do what happened with that guy? Kind
Mhm.
of thing. It's like that's probably your answer. It's like that guy, what happened with him? He's really good. Carvalho, I think that's your answer right there. Oh yeah, great little player, but didn't pass that you know, didn't pass that test.
Mhm.
Didn't pass
Mhm.
that dickhead test. Sometimes you only find out. Sometimes you need you can take in a player and just not like you're taking in some troubled kid off the street kind of thing. But if you got someone like that and it's like, yeah, he's got a bit of this about him, he got a bit of that about him, which is what you need as a kid to get to the top, to because it's a ruthless world. You under 16, 17s at this level. Imagine how ruthless that is.
Mhm.
Everyone out there is a young kid. They're all ballers. They're all little Rio Miyachi or Rio Ngumas. They're all little trainee only. So, but to actually get to the top, it takes that bit extra. But how do you stop that being kind of arrogance then and a problem? And then if you
Mhm.
might have someone like a Virgil who go like, yeah, give me 5 minutes with this kid, I'll slap that out of him, you know,
Right.
metaphorically, I'll
What
make
is
Virgil turns around and goes, look, I've given this kid all the advice, I've given him all the talks, and he's still misbehaving.
right? Right.
Sometimes you get one of those kids.
Mhm.
So I think sometimes when you look at these younger kids that don't make it, they've all the talent. It's just like, but with someone like him, I think, yeah, that was just an attitude thing. And that gets weeded out real quick. And I like that. I like
Mhm.
that. Like you said, we can try and have that, but you can't kind of make yourself foolproof on that. You might have some characters that don't work out, but the important thing is to nip it in the bud real quick.
Mhm.
If someone isn't really going to fit in, they're going. It's like, no, look, you're not buying into the way we do things. Doesn't matter how good you are. You're out on loan. We're going to sell you. That's what you need to be. That's what you need to be.
What is your? I see you've been um uh, interesting. I almost scored there. I see you've been commenting
Is
with
this still
the
1-0?
chat. The Basuma. What's that? Still one
Is this
nothing.
still 1-0? Okay.
Yep. 1-0. 72nd minute right now. Um, yeah, I see your Basuma comment, and I saw a Sar comment as well. You say you take Sar over
They
Basuma
were
for.
just talking about, yeah, people were on
I
Basuma, but
know,
I was
I
like,
know. Max is the hot Spur aficionado.
yeah, it's
So
just if I was going to take any one of their center mid right now, not that we really kind of need it or anything, but it'd be the Sar. It'd be that kid Sar that'd be taken.
would you? He's
Basuma
been
has some
struggling
issues.
lately. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but
certainly a player that he's certainly a player that a lot of Tottenham fans have like kind of been very very critical of both him and Basuma. And
to be
they were actually
honest,
yeah.
to be honest with him, it was more that I would, if I was going to take a Spurs midfielder, I'd
Mhm.
rather have him than have Basuma.
Mm,
basic because Basuma has some off the field kind of issues and stuff.
mm,
And he was a great player. We were very interested in him.
mhm.
We were
Yeah.
very interested, and he looked excellent at Brighton. He was like Ibasuma is the original Moises Caicedo.
Mhm,
You know, they basically replaced him with Caicedo, and yeah, we were looking at him. But turns out he's things can change and all that, but he's been pretty in and out. But on his day, but yeah, it's just if I was to take one of them, I'd probably just take that Sarr guy. It's just, I don't really rate Basuma that much anymore.
mhm.
He kind of dropped off a lot.
Okay. It's a hatchet man, KJ's saying. Hatchet man.
He was good on the ball, but he loved to tackle. Yeah, you know, he was genuine. He's quite good. You know, um, there was Musa Dembele comparisons. The Musa Dembele that ironically was at Spurs before that.
Mhm. I
Good, you know,
see.
really good under pressure, but he
Yeah.
liked to tackle. Yeah, like McAllister. Like Brighton like that. They like their techie players, but Basuma like to tackle. We've seen how much McAllister loves a tackle. Saicedo loves a tackle.
Yeah.
Um, they like a bit of that at Brighton as well. James Milner in there. So they've always had those tough guys, you know, because they know they kind of hide it. You know, oh, Brighton, they play beautiful, techie, lovely football. Yeah, but they've got a couple of guys in there that will smash you. You know, one of them is UD in midfield. Very clever by them.
Interesting comments I'm seeing in the chat here. I don't agree with all of them, but we're all welcome to an opinion.
I
And
don't think
also, I've
Basuma
been
that
saying,
great
I was only
at all.
saying the comment on Busuma and the comment on Sar weren't my opinions on them. I said that I've seen Spurs fans out there be very critical of Sar and Basuma. Actually, they're very critical of him just recently um, in the in the North London derby because they were influential in why they lost that game. Apparently,
Yeah.
so that's why a lot of people have been very critical of those two players in particular. Not saying they're not good players, just saying that they've been those are people that watch Spurs just as much as you, Max. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah, no, well, that's where, yeah, Max, I think Max said he'd take Basuma, and I just kind of said, well, if I was having a Tottenham guy to be Sarr, and I kind of just left it at that. But
mhm.
um, yeah, I think probably a very energetic player, so I wouldn't imagine if he's playing Ange ball now for 7 months is probably taking a toll on the old mind and brain,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or the legs and the brain.
yeah.
Yeah, probably a
I mean,
young
I'd
ball
rather
player.
have if you're talking about midfielder, I'd rather have Madison actually as the midfielder, even
Oh,
though
well,
he's
I was kind of thinking out of their kind of holder, they're, yeah,
yeah,
not their tens kind of, so they're more kind of deep. The guy Bentancur, I've always liked him, but I think he's just a little. He's one of those guys where if you put together a highlight reel of him, he'd look really nice, like a Redondo type player.
hmm hmm
Lovely footballer on his day, but really not consistently enough. A real kind of mini, kind of a cross between an Alonso and a Mascherano type of guy. Can pass the ball, but one in 4 games he looks beautiful on the ball, and then yeah, not the rest of the time. But I like him, tough guy. You were going as well. Just come back from a ban from being an idiot.
hmm
Uh, Kulusevski, he stood out this season. Madison doesn't seem to be very much in favor with Ange recently. He's
He
fallen out with
doesn't. That's why I
Madison.
mentioned Madison, by the way, because Madison, for a player that obviously makes a difference in their team,
Oh,
he
they've
for some
fallen out.
reason, you
No,
know,
they've fallen out apparently.
yeah,
That's what the Spurs guy I was watching. He said, "Oh yeah, they've fallen out." He's like,
yeah,
him. That's why he's not starting him. Uh, just yeah, but they're two very bullheaded, big-headed people or bullish people. You know, they and apparently they've yeah, you can't put them in a room together.
right.
Kulu,
Um,
good player, yeah. Sonny, 33 now. He's run the legs off that poor guy. Solanke, a lot of money for a bang average striker. You know, he's not Harry Kane. These guys have just been watching Harry Kane for 7 years, and you give them Dominic Solanke, and you didn't get him on a free. You didn't. You just went down and paid. What did they pay for him? Like 60 million quid or something.
Yeah, yeah, over 60
60
million.
million for Dominic Solanke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is poor. That is poor. Don't tell me you couldn't spend that 60 million somewhere else and have 20 left over and still have a good striker.
Yep.
You know, if you've got a
I'll
good
double check
network
for you what
across
the price
Europe, you know?
was. It was 53.3 million. I guess 60 million, I think, with
Yeah, that'll be 60 million euro. Yeah.
60 million
Yeah.
euros. But
Yeah.
53.3
Come on.
million.
Come on, Spurs. You can do better than that, man. They
Yeah.
should have just gone and tried to get Ollie Watkins, throw some more money on top of it. If you're going to go down that route, you know, proven prem, just go to Aston Villa and get like Watkins for.
Well, that's the thing is that, you know, I see people talk about different players proven, you know, obviously Premier League proven and the likes. And I mean, like, yeah, you know, Calvert Lewin is Premier League proven, but, you know, are you
Premier League
picking?
fucking proven broken. Him and Reece James, man, spent more time in the fucking treatment room than anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I just find it interesting that
I mean, if
people
that's the
are.
route you want to go down, I mean, if you want to go down to prem proven striker and talk to Spurs, like if that's what you want to do, you're Spurs. Why are you going for Solanke?
Oh my god.
Go
Yeah,
for Watkins.
yeah.
If
Goal
that's the
line
guy you
clearance, by the way.
want.
Goal line clearance by it's coming up on the 80th minute. Goal line clearance by Southampton. Bruno Fernandes was just in. Tried to chip it over Leno, and Leno got a piece of it. Or excuse me, Leno.
Not
Ramsdale.
Venom.
Ramsdale.
Right. Yeah. Both former Arsenal goalkeepers have
Both
scored.
former Arsenal goalkeepers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um,
Only one of whom plays for Southampton, though. So
looks like they are going to the tank and
80 minutes is a typical Man U. Don't.
80th minute.
That's a lot of time. That's a
Yep,
lot of
that was
time
a
for
lot of
Man U.
time. Yeah, a lot of time. And who they are
A
looking
lot of
like they're
Man
going to
U.
be bringing in is Ericsson, and looks like they're going to be bringing in Ericsson and actually one of their hero makers from before. Excuse me. Um, I'm blank on the name. Think of what I'm thinking of. I just saw him. I can't. I'm waiting for him to come back around. Looks like they're going to be bringing in some subs right now. They've already subbed in Anthony Zerksky and Toby Collier. Looks like they're bringing in Ericsson. Who else are they bringing in? Looks like and Harry Maguire, who was nearly the
Big
hero
Harry.
maker. He was nearly the hero maker, I should say, at Anfield that day. Luckily for us, it's Harry Maguire.
He didn't start, so no. Okay.
1-1.
Maybe thought they didn't need their
It is
top
now
goal
1-1.
scoring threat. Started Southampton, give him a night off.
Yeah, yeah, they just scored.
There you go. See, there you go.
They didn't have this. They didn't get. They're just about to make the subs, but their young phenom Ahmad just scored. Let's hope that he's offside or something. Nope, he's not going to be offside.
Yeah, more than enough time that sneak a 2-1.
Oh my goodness, that's got to be a save, Ramsdale.
Yeah, they're going to just collapse.
Oh my goodness, he went near post and he went under the keeper. How do you? Jeez. Poor, poor, poor. Once again, Southampton showing why they are at the bottom of the table.
No, it was
Jeez.
not a Maguire bicycle kick.
It was not a Maguire bicycle.
Unbelievably, he didn't put out a 35 yarder. You know, he didn't do a Zidane v Leverkusen. None of the usual Harry heroics.
Mm-hmm. What was that stat?
You can always trust him. But look, what will that do for them? Move them from the depths of 14th to the heady heights of 12th or something.
I think it moves them from 15th to 14th.
Wow. I mean,
They
could
were
they
in
take them?
if
How
they
much you
lost
tell them?
if they lose this game, they would have been in 15th place. If
Someone
they
should tell them to take their vertigo pills. Someone should tell their fans to check their temperature and their blood pressure because they're about to go shooting up. They're about to go flying up. Yeah, they need to.
currently they sit in 14th place now. If the 1-1 draw stays, it'll be them in 14th place. If they end up winning this game, it will be them leapfrogging over Spurs to be in 13th place.
Yeah, they need to get their altitude pills,
Yeah.
Get that shit ready because it's about to get heady for them. They might be they're at base camp 1. It's shocking. Yeah. Hey, look, maybe to get a bit cocky and Southampton don't collapse. Like they almost inevitably will.
Oh yeah, they probably will.
But you never know.
Unfortunately, they probably will. It is Southampton. It is Ramsdale. That was a hard. Oh man, that was just a bad.
I think they're like
should say that.
They're like a meat thing over there. Sorry, that's a really bad way of saying it. I think Ramsdale's like they make sausage. I think it's like a big sausage company or something. That sounds even worse. I think Ramsdale's.
It's not getting any better by the way you're bringing it out.
Yeah. Do you know what Greg's? Do you know what Greg's is in England? It's like meat pies and hot, sausage rolls and stuff. I think there's like. Oh no, that's Harry Ramsden's. Yeah, that's the fish and chip. But whenever I just hear Ramsdale, I just think of like Ramsdale sausages or something. He's just the most, and he just, yeah, United man, definitely a scumbag 2-1. Definitely a scumbag 2-1. Last kick of the game, very United, very
Something
United.
stupid, yeah. Something stupid will happen, or they'll get some heroics. Yeah, some weird some weird Bruno Fernandes, goal or something, some assist from him, and you'll see all the Red Devils going crazy, pounding their badges.
That's very good, actually. Did you hear that? I'm going to give you that for free.
I didn't hear that. What was it?
Yeah. Anybody that wants to do a thing about Tyler Dibbling? Tyler the Creator.
Tyler the Creator. There you go.
There's your thumbnail.
There is one.
There's your thumbnail.
That
guy makes shit happen, man. That guy makes shit happen. I loved watching the first time. He reminded me of Steve McManaman.
Mm-hmm.
He just like to get on the ball and just run at people.
Mm-hmm.
He just has that kind of inclination. Just give me the ball. I'm not going to try and be slink. I'm just going to see the ball or see the goal. I'm just going to run. If someone gets in the way, I'm going to try and dribble past them. Or hope he doesn't go to Man City. You know that thing we were talking about the other day? Goes to Man City and like he just goes, no, don't even try and dribble. Stop, pass. You love seeing those guys that still have that in them.
Yeah.
He's old school in the best way.
Sorry. Looking at Anthony dive.
Shocking. I don't believe
Shocking.
it. How dare you besmirch his reputation like that?
Yeah. I didn't see him. I didn't know he was wearing. I didn't see that he had Speedos on. That's sorry. That's probably why. Come on, Walker Peters, do something.
You know he always has Speedos on.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
He's just always ready for beach volleyball at any
Yeah,
moment.
he's Brazilian, so yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
he's just
maybe
ready
it's
for
like
any
it's
moment.
a necessity. Oh man, Walker Peters needs to shut down Ahmad. Ahmad is trying to be he's trying to be a hero on his own right now.
That's never good.
Yeah,
Usually doesn't work out.
usually doesn't, but I mean, he
You
had
should run.
success against Walker Peters earlier. He got lucky, very fortunately lucky that he tried to go by him. When he went try to go by him, the defender, I think it was Walker Peters that was defending him because there was two guys defending him. It deflected off of the defender, went back. Fortunately, took a good bounce and went right back to him, and he ended up being able to continue on and almost or not almost, it should have been saved. I thought that should have been saved. So 89th minute, 89th minute. I don't know how much extra time is going to be put onto this, but we're at the 89th minute. Southampton trying to hold on to a 1-1 draw at Old Toilet. So we will see if they can. We're going to definitely hang out to the very end of this game. We're almost coming up on the end of the show today. We're coming up close to about an hour and 45 minutes in. So we're about to get close to ending this pretty soon. But we will stick this out to see if we can laugh or if we can just kind of, I wouldn't say cry, but certainly laugh. Certainly have a feel-good moment, a slight feel-good moment. And by the way, we are now going to all cry. Freaking Ahmad. 2-1.
He done it again, did he?
Yep. He has
He should have
been,
just kicked him. I said he should have just kicked him. Just kick him.
yeah.
In the sore place, in the ankle, and just oh, sorry, dude. Sorry about that. You're gonna be a bit limpy for the next 5 minutes because there's only about 8 minutes left.
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay.
And it wasn't even that great of a goal. It was just, but he every time he had the ball at his feet, he looked like he did not look at anyone else. He was not looking to pass. He was not looking to do.
Yeah, he's
He
like,
was.
fuck it, I'm going for this. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, they're gonna love it.
Yeah. But it was a really good through ball to Erickson. Again, geez, Ramsdale, just make one save, man. You want near post again? How do you get beat near post twice, dude? So bad that the Southampton coach just went and kicked the water bottle. Like, come on. Southampton, you are the weak link. You have 6 points. I was just about to say, with that draw, you would have had 7 points. With that draw, they would have had 7 points. They've played 21 games, and you had 7 points. You now have 6 points. Jeez. That is absolutely pathetic.
So that'll
Ramsdale
be
always gets beat near post. Yeah. Absolutely pathetic. They're going to be putting an extra 5 minutes onto this game. We're into the 92nd minute. Wolves are about to take a corner kick here. It's 2-1. I'm trying to get the self score is a little ahead of mine. So, can you remember when Arsenal fans were saying Ramsdale best keeper on earth? Yo, absolutely, I remember that. They say the same about Raya now. Oh, they got ahead to the ball, but it goes wide. 93rd minute. Oh man, that was would have probably been a handball, but they probably would have maybe called it a handball because it would have been a goal that was helped on by it hit his hand. They probably would have said that it would have been, since it was assisted by a quite handball, it would have been there. Yeah, Rhea is far from the best now. Ramsdale has been awful this season. He wasn't cheap either to rub salt into the Southampton wounds. Definitely so.
This is what they don't learn from. They don't learn. They should learn by now that when a guy like Ramsdale, but a lot of it's all like arrogance and noise and bluster. Yeah, he's good guy, but it's a lot of it's about kind of force a person out. When they get that big move,
Right.
like
He's
he
absolutely
goes to
right.
Bournemouth. Yeah, he goes to Bournemouth,
Oh my
right?
God. Are you freaking kidding me?
Hmm.
Are you freaking kidding me? Southampton, just forfeit the rest of the season, Southampton. Just forfeit the rest of the season.
Oh, it's 3 now, is it? Okay.
He just scored. Ahmad just scored again. This is hat trick.
Oh, there you go.
Just mail it in. Just be done.
They
Just
did
be
it from day
done.
one. They did. They just basically said we're getting relegated on day one. There was just something about their energy that was like, nah, we're going back down. Don't worry about us. But no, it's just, but the thing is, those keepers, like when someone like Ramsdale goes to Bournemouth, that's a big move
What
for
is he
him. You know,
even
moving up
doing?
divisions, and then he becomes like really good for Bournemouth, and then you get a big move to a club like Arsenal, and
Yeah.
they think they're the shit now as when then as English keepers. When then they get dumped and they go back to a team like a Southampton or something like that, those clubs don't realize those keepers are done mentally. They they're always crap then. They never go back to what they were because they can't handle the rejection. They don't have that kind of killer instinct to show it. They can't do it. They just can't do it. It's always a huge mistake to buy an English goalkeeper that's gone to a big club and been rejected and gone back to it. They always get worse because their egos can't handle it. They start
There's
phoning it
absolutely
in. They
no
just get
reason
worse.
why it should be. There's no reason that should be 3-1. The first goal that they scored was garbage goal. It was a goal that, again, just as KJ just said, he got beat near post, or he always gets beat near post. Well, that's what happened. He went out, he got beat near post. Second goal, okay, it was certainly a great pass. It was a great through ball by Eriksson in. Um, he absolutely puts it, gets a foot on it. It goes in again near post. 2-1 now. Okay. All right. You're up front. You're still trying to make something happen and the likes. Cool. Third goal. Third goal is Southampton trying to play out from the back. I'm just like, what is Ramsdale even? Ramsdale should never be a part of that. That's half the reason why he's not at Arsenal. He passes it. He gives a terrible pass. The Southampton player can't hold on to the ball. It deflects off him. Ahmad pounces on it. I don't know what Ramsdale's even thinking or doing. Ramsdale's walking the other direction after he passed it to him, even though he has a man on. He's walking the other direction. He sees that the guy misses the pass or couldn't handle his pass. He then starts to try to make a run back to the goal and gets scored on. Southampton, you are pathetic. You are the weakest link in the Premier League. And I would have to say goodbye. Jeez. I feel bad for that coach. Whoever, I forget who they just brought in. They brought in a new coach. They showed a picture of him sitting there, and he was just like, "What have I gotten myself into?" what have I gotten myself into? This, so, but all the same. 3-1 is the final score of that Manchester United game. I'm sure you're going to have all these Red Devils out here pounding their chest about Ahmad, how great of a player he is, and how great of this and that, and blah, 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 blah. I don't even think Bruno was that great today, to be honest with you. He was okay. He was okay. I mean, considering it took them until what, the 80th minute or something. When did they score their first goal? Until it took them to the 82nd minute to score their first goal. Jeez, man. Jeez. Anyhow, well, I thought we'd have better news, but just goes to show. He's a good player. I'm not hating on him being a good player, but it's just the sheer fact that he's a good player. He's a good player. But the 3 goals were goals that were Southampton just playing absolutely wretched defense. And I mean, that was pathetic. 2 goals, one goal that he should have saved. The first goal he should have saved. The next 2 were off of just crazy. Oh man, I don't want to get into it. I'm not trying to ruin the rest of my day. So people, we are about to end this episode, unfortunately, with the bad news of the Red Devils now being in a. I think that moves them up to. They are now 12th place now. They are now 12th place. That makes a big difference. They are now 12th place. Still second page of the still on the second page, but it moves them up to 12th place. They will be sitting behind 2 points behind Brentford, who we face this weekend. Manchester United plays. Who do they play next? Actually, Manchester United is going to be playing Brighton, who got a 2-0 win today. So they'll be playing against Brighton. That is at least good settings for us if you're looking and hoping that Manchester United will end up having it lost in their future. Because that game is at Old Trafford, but Old Toilet, aka Old Toilet. But I think Brighton is no way near the team that Southampton is. So we might see something different. Is there anything you want to talk about before we bounce, Brian? Anything you'd like to share or speak on?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, the kid done good, didn't he? As they say.
Yeah.
They love their good young players at Manchester United, so I'm sure there'll be lots of. I mean, it was Kobe Mainu last summer.
Yeah, he's on the outs.
Yeah.
He might be a player that they sell.
Yeah, all that bluster about that was unedifying, to say the least. Talking about how older players are for sale. What does that say to anybody?
It says that
other than you're for sale. But, it's not really what you'd want from your club.
No.
But there's a whole lot going on really, other than us, and we've talked about the disappointing game that we had. So no, other than what we've been talking about tonight, no, that's cool. If there's anybody in the chat, no, they're just talking about so no, just the usual. We're bang on 2 hours now, so this is a good time. So thanks everyone for being here. I'll see you all again tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, Yeah, we gotta do a preview for the Brentford matchup, and we also will have any other talk. It's Friday. It's finally Friday, or it'll be finally Friday tomorrow. So anything else that we want to talk about, you can bring it up in the chat, or we can bring it up on the panel. We can have that conversation. It's going to be a good weekend, hopefully, for us. We can hopefully bounce back, get back into our scoring ways, reaffirm our position at the top of the league, and obviously, have a good weekend, hopefully, for all of us ahead of us. So big up, big up. Appreciate that, KJ. Definitely. Yeah, if you're free, KJ, definitely be on the definitely chime in or come in, join us for tomorrow on the show. And other than that, yeah, up the Reds, people. Simple said, simple does. Up the Reds. That's how it is. So we'll see you tomorrow. Wish you guys all the best over Thursday. And again, up the Reds. Take care, guys.